Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. I'm your host, Jason Shea. Today, we sit down with David, the founder and CEO of Beverly Teddy Bear Company. With over 2 decades of experience, David shared his journey from starting a mail-order teddy bear business to becoming a trust partner for some of the world's largest brand. Today's interview will learn about how David's commitment to doing business with integrity and making 5-star products and treating people's employees and partners alike with respect and cares that has driven his company's global success. Please join us and welcome David on today's podcast. Thank you for joining us today, David.
Thank you so much, Jason. Great to see you.
Same here. So I think, can you start out with, because you have such a many years of experience with in the industry, I guess that's kind of, I want to kind of unwrap it one by one. Can we start out with talking about the company that you currently have and what inspired you to create the company that you currently operate?
Sure. Yeah. So we're a full spectrum toy manufacturer focusing on stuffed animals and stuffed toys. But we do other things, some action figures and some other products. We make our own proprietary lines of products, some fun stuff. We always try to be first to market in the plush category with whether it be blind plush or sequin plush or whatever it might be. And then we also make product for other toy companies and other entrepreneurs in our business that need giveaways or just help along the way, figuring out a way to manufacture light electronics or plush or figures.
How do you get into this line of work? Do you always want to be a plushie toy designer?
Yeah. You know, it was a kind of a what's the song? A God Bless the Broken Road. Okay. We went from, I wanted to be a stockbroker growing up, and then I wanted to be a professional hockey player. And when my career ended with a couple injuries, my college roommate and we started a mail order company where we sent custom teddy bears that could cost, well over $500 each to more of the wealthy individuals, right? So if Steven Spielberg or someone needed a gift or someone wanted to send him a gift, we would make a Steven Spielberg bear or whatever it was. No, we don't own the trademark Steven Spielberg.
But bear wearing diamond rings, is that why?
It could be. It could be anything. People bought, bride and groom bears, but very specific where it looked just like them. And
okay, that's why.
So
got it.
So that's how we started. Before the internet, really, before anything, we started advertising on radio, and it was a lot of fun, very challenging. And as you and I shared before, we have a story about lemons being turned into lemonade. So
definitely very different. And I think with your long-term success in the industry, you have also built a long-term relationship with some of the biggest companies in the world. I guess, do you have any secrets in doing businesses with some of the bigger corporations that you also work with right now?
Yeah, I think it's important that you kind of do what you say and say what you do. So if you promise to deliver something and something goes wrong with the factory, it really doesn't matter. It's all on you. So you really only have one reputation, and a lot of times only one opportunity, because mistakes are going to happen. There's no doubt. New companies, old companies, the biggest, the baddest, the best companies all make mistakes. It's, as my pastor says, it's what do you do with those mistakes?
Yeah.
So,
I see, for sure. And I think with the particular type of product you create, I think that does require a lot of customization, just based on what you just said. And what go into creating a toy that meet like the high standard of quality? I believe you use many different manufacturers over the years. Is there any way that you do any particular thing you do to ensure the high quality for all the toy product that you provide to the market?
Yeah, I think it's important to have a good QC team and great designers. I mean, great product starts with great design, and we are in the stuffed toy business for the most part. So
Yeah.
all those are handmade, hand sewn. They're not automated like a tooled product where it just comes out of the mold. So it's important to find great partners and great manufacturers
Yeah.
that follow your standards and try to do their very best and live up to those standards.
Yeah, and I think we also talk about it before the actual interview. Is I think your company started before Build-A-Bear, correct? So I think the industry is a little bit different back then. But have you ever think about like building something similar to Build-A-Bear as far as the business model goes, like going into retail store and having your own stores and all that? Was that ever even on your mind in one point? Because you could technically do that based on your experience and the seniority have it established. So
Right. We did. We've had a store here and there because we own a few domains too. So we own stuffedanimals.com, we own plush.com, and we have dabbled in retail a bit.
yeah.
But I don't know. We really enjoy making product and putting it on the retail shelves,
Yeah.
various retailers in the U.S., Europe, and around the world.
I see. And since, like you mentioned, your company has grown globally, and you definitely maintain. I guess the hardest part I also struggle with team building and business building is maintain a culture around your team. I don't know how many employees do you currently have within your organization right now, David?
Yeah, we're small. I mean, around 20.
Around 20. Yeah, that's still a decent size. So
Yeah, yeah. But we've always, the culture has always been balance. We're very family oriented. I have a lot of kids. Our company president has a lot of kids.
yeah.
We're very sensitive to that. And look at if you hire the best and hire people who have your integrity, but also your work ethic, you really don't have to check on them. And that's what's beautiful about our team is that they have learned to work independently. I mean, there's some people I wouldn't have to talk to for an entire week or longer who are direct reports, but just because you trust what they're doing and trust the process, and they're probably better at what they do than you are. So it's really important to have great people. And people always talk about hiring the Michael Jordans, but it's true, right? Like you want to hire, but you have to have a team that's very complementary of one another as well.
Yeah.
And you need people who will challenge you, but also bring their talents and their gifts. And I think that's what we're really good at, is letting the people bring their own gifts and talents and fit into our culture and our company.
Yeah, I like, because I know a huge basketball fan, so I like the Michael Jordan's example, because without Scottie Pippen, maybe
right.
Michael Jordan wouldn't see the
but
success that he had, because without the team member that's supporting him, right?
Sure.
But if you have everyone being a Michael Jordan running around and never pass the ball around, it's probably not going to work either. So
that's correct.
It's definitely a balance. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And I think one thing more very unique about like all the different business you run. I know you are also main of face, and you also design some face-based product as well.
Correct.
Can you kind of mention to the audience a little bit more about that too?
Yeah. So I think about 17, 18 years ago, we wanted to integrate our faith into our company. So we developed a line of a product called Bible Toys. And Bible Toys is exactly what it is. It teaches the kids Bible stories from, Adam and Eve, Abraham, all the way to Jesus, and all the stories and miracles in between. And it just helps supports parents, and hopefully kids can have fun playing with the toys and learning while they're doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. And that is a whole different business model. How do you structure it? Is it all under one business entity, or is each of the brand or domain that you have is a separate business entity? How do you structure that?
Yeah. So they're all run uh, independently of one another. So, a Bible Toys is actually run out of North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
with a key partner distributor.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, and then we have our custom plush business where we make product for entrepreneurs, banks,
Mm-hmm.
Fortune 100 companies, etc. And that's out of our upstate New York office, and then Los Angeles, our main office, where we develop most of the products and have most of our meetings, and
Mm-hmm.
where most of us are based.
I see. Do you also hire some people overseas, or is it all US based for your employees?
We do. We have, we have a satellite office in the Philippines for one of our companies, and
Mm-hmm.
then we also have a few people in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of our business is that it's built on relationships,
Yeah.
and our manufacturers are like an extension of us. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really, we talk about when we do business with our partners, it's
Mm-hmm.
we really take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
And our our friends and our partners in Asia and the Far East are amazing people, and we're really fortunate to have such great support and great partners in them.
How often do you go and visit your supplier in person?
Uh, Before COVID, I felt like it was a lot more than
Mm.
what it used to be. So it's
Yeah.
cut down quite a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
before COVID, we were probably there almost every month from someone from the US.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and it's, COVID, we were kind of restricted,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have found ways, because, as you know, the toy business has changed where the hub is, right? Like,
Mm.
Hong
Yeah.
Kong's still a manufacturing hub, but it's not the sales hub anymore unless you're
Yeah.
from Asia or Asia Pac.
Yes.
So Los Angeles has, fortunate for us, has become the hub. We have our toy show starting. Well, we've
Mhm.
already had some meetings, but the main
Mhm.
thrust of the meetings start next week, and it'll go for, I think, 2.5, 3 weeks, and we'll have,
Mhm.
I don't know, upwards of 100 appointments. So
Oh,
it's
whoa. Okay.
it's definitely rotated. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The LA preview, right? Yeah. So
correct.
okay. Yeah. And I think because you all also have been in the industry a lot longer than I am, so you definitely know what you have a lot more connections. And since I think my background is a little bit different, I kind of started in a whole different industry before I got into toys. So
Right.
yeah, so it's definitely I would say it's like a learning curve as far as understanding the nuances. And my specialty is really digital marketing, not retail. So
Yes.
retail is a whole different ball game as far as how to do it correctly. I know I can sell them online, but how do I sell it in the store? That's definitely a lot of the nuances that you kind of learn over the years. So that kind of lead me to my next questions, because
Sure.
of the changes that's happening in the industry, just like you mentioned about supply chain and different things that changes. And I'm also pretty sure the consumer behavior is also changing over the years since you started. What is your like, how do you stay on top of all the trend and all the changes, and still try to make sure your company's the product you're creating is still relevant to today's marketplace?
Yeah. It's difficult. Obviously, it's very competitive. There are some large companies that keep gobbling up shelf space,
Yeah.
and retailers. There, obviously, we all know of the consolidation. A lot less retailers
Yeah.
out there. I think it's just important to continue to create new products, always new things, always look at fashion and look at different industries, what's working, what's not,
Not okay.
how can we approach the business differently,
Hmm.
and really just, kind of having that instinct, or, your gut to say, yes, this is what we're going to do. But then also taking your business and very creating pillars, so that,
Okay.
so we have our custom plush where we make product for people. That's under customplush.com. No
Yeah.
plug, just kind of siloing them for you.
Yes.
And and then we have our plush.com business where
Yeah.
that's really all of our proprietary brands
Brands.
where we're selling our own products
Mhm.
to brick and mortar retail.
Yeah.
And then our online business. So
Mhm.
really trying to balance the company, because sometimes one is slow and one's good, so it kind of balances each other out.
Yeah.
It's my former boss always called it the Mount Fuji. Don't have very few companies at the top, because if one of them goes away, you're in big trouble. And don't sell the very bottom, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's difficult. So try and sell everybody in the middle, and try and create a base business.
I see.
And that's really the goal, is to just balance your business. And I think what's really important too is that retailers like to have their own things, especially when you compare mass retail to specialty retail.
Yeah, very different.
Giving them something different, something special, and not just creating product to create product. Create product with a purpose, or with some feature, or something that is a hook for that customer, and hopefully the retailer sees it and they put it on their shelf. And then at the end of the day, though, it's does the consumer like it? If the consumer likes it, all sins are forgiven, is what a wise salesman once told me. But we really need to create great product, and that's really our goal, is to create great product no matter what we do.
I see. So I know you have so many domains. Let me try to keep track of them. So that's plush.com, that's customplush.com, and there's also bibletoys.com. Is there any other one I missed besides those three?
I think you said stuffedanimals.com
Oh,
too.
stuffanimal.com as well. That's four.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have others, but those are the majors.
Those four are the main ones.
Yeah.
I see.
So we'll be adding another later this year. That.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, really just trying to be a vertical plush company, where if you need one or you need 1 million pieces, we're going to be your go-to from consumer to corporate.
So I want to transition the second part of the interview to talk about more about the marketing piece or marketing component of your business.
Sure.
Because you have so many different domains. How do you, when you come to digital marketing, like how do you separate it? Do you have like a big digital marketing team that's doing the ads, optimization, SEO for each of the website on an ongoing basis? It sounds like it's a lot to manage, because I just have 3 domains and I'm already struggling on managing the 3. You have like 5 or 6, 7.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a challenge, right? Because there's always new protocols, new things to do. I think it's really, for us, we build more brands of product, and hopefully they eventually land on our website to find it. But in terms of marketing, it is important to figure out what is the best marketing for that product. And sometimes the best marketing is just the great product on the shelf, and they touch it, and then it's word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
So
will you say majority of the business sounds like majority of the business is coming from B2B, not B2C, correct? You don't really sell directly to consumer as much as you sell into retail store, big box stores, and big retail, like specialty store.
Yeah, I would say right now, I mean, there is a big shift for, I don't know what you consider Amazon, but the Amazons of the world and your own
Amazon I consider is B2C, it's direct to consumer.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a big growth area for, I think, anybody in our business, because there's less doors to go.
But Amazon also have 2 different ways to do business on Amazon. For those of you that's not selling on Amazon have 2 platforms. One is Vendor Central, which is kind of like B2B. You're selling to Amazon, and Amazon try to sell it for you, but 9 out of 10 they do a horrible job and try to sell it for you. They really don't spend the time and energy, because they have so much brand on the Vendor Central. They treat you like one of the million brands they have. So they don't really put a lot of energy into your product description. Pretty much they put minimum effort and just throw it out there, kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall, and hopefully it sells. So I usually do not recommend using Vendor Central for the listeners listening. For the small brand that usually we recommend is using Seller Central. That's more B2C because now you have control over the brand, you have control over the listing, the images, the video, and the price. When it comes to selling on Vendor Central, you don't even have control over the price. Amazon can lower the price anytime they want. When they feel like, oh, we have a overstock, let's just reduce it by 90%. Let's try to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And you have no
Yeah.
control. And Amazon doesn't
Yeah.
care about your map. That doesn't care about your retail price. They care about nothing when you do Vendor Central. And I heard so much horror story of my friends selling to Vendor Central, and they lost so much money through that platform. So I totally do
Wow.
not recommend it. So do not do it unless you have
Right.
money to burn. Do not do Vendor
Right.
Central. So for the listener that is learning about the Amazon platform, because Amazon platform is so complicated. The best analogy I use is like gambling in the casino. So you have to understand the rule and you need to know how to count the cards. If you don't know how to do both, it's very hard to be successful on Amazon. Just
Yes.
like you
Yes.
walk into the casino, try to play blackjack, but you don't understand the rule, you're gonna lose all your money at the end of the night. So that's kind of similar to Amazon.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So-
Very good analogy, Jason. Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they change their rule all the time too. Amazon will increase the fee, increase the storage fee. That's now this year there's low inventory fee, there's long-term storage fee, there's 6 months inventory fees, 12 months inventory fee. It go on
Yeah.
and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it is not an easy platform to navigate. But unfortunately, they dominate e-commerce. What can you do about it? You couldn't really do about it because you have to be on there. Everyone search on Amazon. Even I think that's a common phenomenon right now. Even when I walk into a retail store trying to find toys for my kids for Christmas, the first thing I would do is scan the barcode and look for review on Amazon. That's
Correct.
like a consumer
We do.
behavior almost.
Yeah.
People do that. I do that myself.
Yeah.
Before I
Yeah.
buy it. So because I almost use it as like a information, like kind of verification things. So you kind of have to be on there. It's just necessary of I guess it just is a must. I don't know. Do you feel the same or not, David? So,
And Jason, it's not only for the consumer.
yeah,
It's what retailers look at when they go to buy your product.
yeah, that too.
They
I
want to
definitely
see,
get that too.
well, how's it doing on Amazon,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
What are the reviews, which is really important because a lot of companies don't worry about their reviews. And I will say that's just a little bit of advice. Make sure you get good reviews.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And again, that comes from good product, good pricing. All those things have to be in line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
reviews are really critical.
100%. Also, the
Yeah.
brand consistency for both the branding online and offline should be consistent. And sometimes I work with my clients like, what you have online is like totally different because you didn't created it. Someone just bought it at Target and saw it up there and take some random picture. It looked very unprofessional. Like you couldn't even see what's inside the box, and that's on Amazon. And when people are looking at it, it's like, what's wrong with this company?
Sure.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look. It just look very fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and also supply chain is also a big problem with Amazon because it's sometimes hard to control who is selling and who is not selling when you have like multiple retail channels. And sometimes you couldn't stop Walmart from putting your toys on clearance aisle. Then guess what? People are going to buy it and try to sell it on Amazon as well. So that's another common issue we see
Yes.
when it comes to Amazon.
Very good warning to your listeners for sure.
Yeah, it does happen quite a bit. So
Yes.
you need to kind of watch out for supply chain as well. So back to since we're talking about Amazon and digital marketing, for your Amazon strategy, do you have a specific strategy that you do with your team as far as how do you manage the Amazon platform yourself right now? So,
Yeah. So just to be transparent, we're revamping our Amazon strategy right now. We went through a third-party distributor,
yes.
and the business was very successful. And then the distributor changed model. So
Okay.
it made sense for us to make the break and do what we're doing now. So
I see.
definitely more of a direct model. And yeah, the whole vendor central, what you mentioned, it's very true. Unless you're a behemoth, you really don't get the TLC
support. Yeah, I don't really get support neither. So
Yeah.
that's the problem. So
Yeah. But we all need to be I believe, on Amazon in some form,
Yeah.
and to put our best foot forward there, and figure it out without getting too many chargebacks, as you mentioned before, Jason.
Yes, yes. Profitability is a big problem, and that's something I review with my team on the monthly basis. Okay, so we did 50,000, 100,000, but how much profit do we actually make after all the fees?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The fees can be the chargebacks. You have to be box size. I'm not telling you anything. It's very very specific. Yes.
Yes. Need to be very specific. That's definitely one of the very challenging platforms to navigate. And are you also currently selling on Walmart as well, besides Amazon and Walmart.com?
We do a little bit on Walmart.com. We're trying to. We did do a lot more in the past, where we had items that were promoted on Amazon. Or I'm sorry, Walmart. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, but we haven't as of late. I think we'll look at that strategy again.
I see.
Because they are growing. Walmart is growing quite a bit.
Walmart is trying to catch up, but they are still kind of behind online e-commerce side with Amazon. I would say they are about 10% of what Amazon's doing online. Of course, their retail sales is huge, but their online sales is only 10% of Amazon.
Okay. You would know more than I would about that percentage, but yes.
Yeah, that's a typical stats when you look at most of the account, and that's on both. Your sales usually is less than 10% of what your Amazon sales is. That's also true for my brand, because we also sell on Amazon and Walmart as well. So And the other question I have is, as far as international marketplaces besides US, what other country are you currently marketing and selling to directly? I mean, of course, maybe you sell a lot through the distributor, but do you also sell like direct in any of the country as well?
We do some direct. It depends really on the opportunity. Obviously, Europe's a little easier with some retailers. We do a little bit in Eastern Europe direct. And on occasion in Asia.
Have you considered Japan yet?
Japan's not a really hard market for us to crack. We used to do a little bit of business, but we've really not been in Japan. So if you want to take it to Japan,
that's
Jason,
something I specialize in, by the way. I think I specialize in Japan, actually. So because I speak Japanese and my wife's Japanese, I used to live there for 5 years. So I did a whole webinar a couple months ago about Amazon Japan, and all the ins and outs about Amazon Japan as well, which is a very different marketplaces, and a lot of people is afraid of going into Japan because of the cultural barriers. Consumers think differently, the expectation is different. One of the funny fact I would like to I could share is US consumer like information quick and easy. So when we designed the Amazon product detail page for US consumer, you need to be big text, infographic in their face, so they know in 3 seconds what it is. Japanese consumers are opposite. They want to see data. They want to see graph. They want to see like all the detailed numbers. Like, okay, how does this toy going to help my kids in education? Exactly. What is the trend line, like a curve? They want to see that kind of data, and that's very different than the US consumer. And of course, that's the language nuance, but that's also like an expectation nuance that you need to understand for Japanese culture versus US culture, because it's very different. So I think that's why a lot of the US company that try to go into Japan, they don't really make a lot of traction, because they didn't understand the fundamental difference of how the consumer in Japan think versus how the consumer in US think. They want to just duplicate what they are doing in US into Japan and just use Google Translate and translate their entire listing into Japanese. That never worked. Usually that never worked. Even with the big brand like Shashibo, they are in Japan as well. I look at their listing before when I did the audit. They only do $10,000 a month in Japan, but they do $400,000 a month in US.
Wow.
Yeah, they do a lot in the US. 400,000 a month, but they only do 10,000 a month for the same product. It's like, so you kind of know why there's a big gap, because it wasn't optimized in the correct culture and language context. So I was actually reviewing the listing with my wife, who's Japanese. She looked at the whole thing, is like, what the heck is this toy? She didn't understand it. It's like, how do you even play it? It doesn't understand. It wasn't translated correctly. The whole listing was done pretty poorly, whoever did it. no offense to the marketing company that did it, but based on my experience of being Asian myself, it's just not convincing to the Japanese customer. Like my wife couldn't even tell me what the toy is after looking at the product detail page for like 5 minutes. What is it? So
Wow.
that's
Wow.
saying a lot, right? So
Wow.
yeah, so that's a culture differences, and I think a lot of the US company doesn't quite understand. Like they try to get into Asia, but they are just not getting the success because of they don't understand that nuances, which is so important. But that's so hard to know without knowing someone that's actually native and understanding the culture, of course. So I'm wrapping up today's interview. The final question I always ask every single guest is, if you had to share just one piece of advice with someone getting started in the toy industry, what would that be?
I think about what you're going to bring to the business, just with any business, right? And what is the purpose of it? Is it just to throw another piece of product out there and we think it'll sell? That might be a good reason. I don't know. A lot of our products are all impulse, but hopefully you bring something that is thought through and needed in our business and not just a copycat, right? There's so many copycats in our business. I mean, we have enough people doing, copying what we do, copying what you do, copying whatever. Bring something new and innovative. And then sometimes the first go round, everyone says no. One of our most successful products, everyone said no. And then after, I think I would say 18 months later, a big retailer gave it a shot. It worked. And now we're on year 9 of that product.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And it's done really well, but you
Nice.
just never know. You might have, the stars might not align for you. It might be the wrong time, wrong timing. And you might be too early. Maybe it's a trend that you're too early on. I would just say, try and think about it and then keep going at it and be focused. Laser focused would be my recommendation. Focus is key.
For sure. Thank you for that piece of advice. So for the listener that's either listening or watching, how can people find you?
Yeah. I mean, our main domain is plush.com.
Okay.
And we're on LinkedIn. We're on most social media in some way, somehow. And the name of the company is Beverly Hills Teddy Bear.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I will make sure I put that in the show note. So again, for the listeners, thank you for tuning in for today's episode of Toy Business Unboxed. We hope you enjoy the conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We appreciate your support and would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends and colleagues in the toy industry. For more resource tips and latest updates in the toy industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag Toy Business Unboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea, signing off on Toy Business Unboxed podcast. I'll see you in the next episode. And thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Jason.